What's up, spell slingers? My name is Garion John Wells.
I'm Drew Flitton.
And I'm Cory Janibagian.
And this is Untap
Upkeep.
Drink.
Beer Up.
Hola, mi amigos. We're back for another episode of Untap Upkeep Drink, and I think this is going to be a more chill, more fun one. We are just going to be talking about the best and worst tribes in Magic and some of the best and worst beers that we've had this year.
And most of them, I think, are going to come from beers that we've had on the show.
Yeah.
And there's a couple outside of that as well, which will be nice.
Yeah, I think just inherently doing what we do, we try and only get good beers or beers that sound like they're going to be good, but every once in a while, there's one that either doesn't live up to our expectations or just misses the mark entirely.
I think a lot of times it's being unexpected, too. Like, it's not even necessarily that it's just a bad beer. It's just not at all what you wanted from the beer you thought you bought.
Right,
God
for sure.
damn
But there's also, like, the bad beer in the sense that some of them are just not interesting. It's like, oh, that is exactly what I expected to be, and that's the only thing it is.
Yeah, it's like, this is aight. Whatever. But before we actually start talking about beers, let's dive into some of the beers that we have right here.
Yeah, let's see if any of these will actually make the list.
Hopefully these are on the good list and not the bad list, on the naughty list. So today we've got 3 delicious-looking ciders. And Garion, what are you rocking today?
So the first one we got here is the Strongbow Hard Cider Original Dry. It's 5% ABV and traditionally unlisted IBUs because it's a cider.
Yep.
Very golden, clear, seems pretty carbonated. It tastes like, when you get like a sparkling apple juice or a sparkling apple cider.
Like a Martinelli's kind of thing?
That's exactly what it tastes like. There's no alcohol flavor there. Crisp, refreshing, cold, carbonated.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Red's apple ale.
Yeah.
Just a little heavier on the alcohol. But you can't really taste it. It's really smooth, crisp.
Yeah, and Cory and I have had this one in the past.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess it's probably the first cider that most people probably have just because it's kind of straight up. It's not like weird flavors or anything.
Yeah, this one and Reds, I think, are the go-tos.
Yeah. It is just like a dry cider, though. Like, it does have a bit of sweetness to it as well.
It's good.
Like, it's totally inoffensive, and it's just has that, like, crispness that you get not from, like, a crisp beer, but a crisp apple.
Yeah.
Which I think is, like, a nice distinction with a apple cider.
I like that one. I'd probably buy some of those. To me, it seems more like a summer beer. Like you just have these in a cooler filled with ice. I'd crack 4 or 5 of these on the beach,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a summer. I guess a lot of ciders, you can just drink them all year round, but they're especially good in the summer because they're always usually nice and crisp and refreshing.
All right, the other cider we have is from 2 Towns.
I tried to find which towns it is, but I couldn't find the 2 towns. I'm sure it's 2 great towns. But this is the Ginger Ninja. So it's a ginger hard cider made with ginger root, and it's coming at 6%.
Yeah, it's the strongest one on the show today, which is kind of interesting. Usually ciders are kind of on the lower end of the things that we're drinking.
So it smells a lot like ginger. You get that burn. But then the actual taste, it's a pretty mellow ginger flavor. But
the smell is like, it's almost like a sweet, it reminds me of candied ginger.
Yeah, that's what it smells like.
It still has the burn, but definitely is like also very sweet.
Yeah, I like the burn in ginger. I like a lot of mules. And so it doesn't really have that burn that I was hoping for, but it definitely has the taste.
Yeah, it has that
the zing
that's
for it.
It's slightly lighter than mine.
Yeah, this one
like
looks actually like a white wine.
Yeah.
It's like a proper ginger ale, not like over sugary and sweet.
Yeah, super good.
See, with ginger ales, I like them to be pretty spicy. You know what I mean? I like them to have a lot of ginger. This one's a lot more mellow than that.
Yeah, I like the burn.
But yeah, the balance between sweet and ginger is really good. It's not super carbonated, even though it looks like it has a lot of bubbles. It was right on the money. I would drink a lot of those.
Smooth as hell.
I think it's super inoffensive for people who are like, I kind of want to try a ginger thing, but I don't know if I love ginger, you know?
Yeah, I think ginger can be pretty hit or miss because some people like the burn, some people don't like the burn, and so it's kind of all over the place. Okay, Drew, what are you rocking? You got the sour. You stole the precious.
Yeah. So we've got the Hopworks Urban Brewery, the hub. They've got their Blackberry Lime Sour.
Ooh.
And so the reason why I grabbed this one was because of the Almanac Brewery Blackberry Sour that they had. So this is an American sour with blackberry, marionberry, and lime added. I don't know why the lime added is. Just throw it on the end. It is that's a fucking sour straight on the nose there. Lightly sweet, definitely more of the like blackberry, marionberry than the actual lime.
It's got a nice like raspberry red color to it.
It kind of has that like
Beautiful.
intoxicating fruit floral smell to it. Wow.
Is it good or is it too much?
No, it doesn't taste like a sour at all. It's
In a good way or a bad way?
both.
A bad way.
Like, it's weird, but
This is really, really good, but I wanted it to be more tart.
like it's delicious and somehow bland at the same time.
Yeah, it's
Like
got
there's no back end to it.
I'm trying to think of how I've tasted those types of fruit flavors, but it's a very like flat fruit flavor. You know what I mean? It's almost like
It doesn't have like the tartness from the blackberries that you'd expect on the back
or
end
the
of it.
sweetness. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
got
they're-
sort of the
There really isn't a back end. Like you get a punch of all the fruit just at once.
And then a little bit of like the malty ale.
Yeah.
And then just
nothing. Like no aftertaste, no acidity that you'd especially expect from a sour. No stringency, nothing. That's a really weird sour.
like it's not bad by any means.
Yeah.
But it's just not what you would expect.
yeah. I don't think it's to the point where it would make the naughty list, but that's one of those beers that I would definitely buy and go, God damn it, that's not really what I wanted from this beer. You know what I mean?
But
like, it's
granted, that is
good.
on the first taste, right? Like
Yeah,
this
and I'm
has a
not saying
chance
it's
to
bad.
develop
I would
over time, and-
probably drink a whole bunch of those still. But
Yeah,
when you buy
delicious.
a sour, especially like a fruited sour, like you want sweetness and sour that coming from
Especially
those fruits.
since it has lime, you'd expect there to be some
Yeah.
tartness from that, but I didn't get any lime at all.
All right, so we're going to talk about best and worst tribes. That's what we're doing right now.
Hell yeah.
Let's get judge zone.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is entirely subjective. Like,
We don't even have an outline. We're just freeballing right now.
yeah. So I guess we can make some like kind of clear cut objective best tribes, worst tribes if we were to break it down into the color wheel and like individual colors. Like white. What do you think is the best tribe in white?
Humans. Soldiers up there, maybe clerics.
Yeah, to me it's like
Humans.
angels, humans,
Angels. I
soldiers.
forgot about angels.
Like those are like top three. Like humans, I feel like is one of the tribes
They're
that I
one
would
of
want to talk
the
about. That,
colorful.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I would definitely go like angels and soldiers up there for sure.
So is that how you want to do it? You guys want to go through each color, list some tribes?
I think that's a good way to start.
and
for
then
sure.
we'll go overall. Okay, so we done white. Do you
Get
want
that
to
shit outta
Do you want to
here.
do the best and
What's-
then the worst, or best worst?
let's
Yeah,
do
let's
let's do
do-
best. Let's do best first around the color wheel. So let's go blue next.
Okay, blue. I mean, Merfolk is
Merfolk.
up there. Sphinxes
Sphinx, yeah, 'cause
are up there.
I feel like we should do like angels in white, sphinxes in blue, soldiers in white, and then like merfolk in blue.
Yeah.
There's like the big creatures, and then there's like the standard.
I think Wizards is
Yeah, wizards for sure.
probably
is up there.
the best blue tribe.
Yep.
I mean,
Especially lately.
Yeah, I was
Since
gonna say, like,
Dominaria, it's just
Spellseeker and all of the
exploded.
other like tutor wizards and things like that.
Yeah.
Just the synergies they have with spells. All right. What about black?
black zombos.
Demons have some power, but I don't know if
Some.
as a
Demons-
tribe.
I feel like demons are like the equivalent to angels and sphinxes. I think that is their.
They are high costed, but I mean,
It's not
they
just high
work
cost, but like
great.
the individual power level on demons
Yeah.
can be so ridiculously high.
Yeah, I think kind of like Sphinxes, there's a couple standouts where like, yeah, these are worth playing.
Yeah.
And but with Angels, there's like, you could probably just run most of them and they're all really good.
I feel like when it comes to all of the like big tribes, it's the legendary ones
Yeah.
that like have that huge impact. Whereas the other like good tribes in those colors, they have their own standalone without needing the legendary creatures. They're just good, like consistent and cohesive on their own.
Yeah. Like zombies.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the synergy is just
I mean, black has a lot of random tribes. I mean, vampires can be considered one of the sort of heavy black tribes, but I would say probably zombies is
Yeah.
the big standout.
yeah. Zombies and vampires are definitely where I would go.
Yeah,
But,
I
like
think
it's
those are
not
the two
until
big ones.
what, probably original Innistrad that vampires started to get extra colors. Like they were pretty much just black only for forever.
Yeah, I think they black and then started branching down to Rakdos, and then we finally got some white vampires, and now it's just Mardu vampires
Yeah.
for life.
Which I think makes
Very
sense.
few
Just-
Demir vampires. I think there's one or
Two?
two of them, yeah.
Yeah. That's black.
Red, I mean, I don't think there's any other word you can say but goblins.
Yeah.
Goblins,
Dragons.
dragons.
Dragons are dope.
Trying to think what else does red have that's like I was gonna say Kavu, but the
maybe
Kavu
warriors.
Yeah, and they have like a
but that's
decent,
in Mardu as well.
Yeah,
They have like decent giants, but it's not
Oh, yeah,
like
giants.
a strong tribe. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Giants are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Giants is another one of those where like you just forget about them.
They're just kind of like big bodies, and they don't really do a whole lot.
They're like draft filler.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
needed
feel
a
like-
4-drop.
Yeah, I feel like when you're looking at tribes in general, goblins, and then the one that we're gonna have for the next color are the ones that like stand out. It's like you know that as the tribe for that color,
Yeah.
and that it's just always going to be there. It's always going to be good.
What is that last color? Green?
Correct.
As you could guess.
Elves.
Oh, I was going to say druids.
Druids also up there, but there's a lot of overlap between those two tribes. There's a lot of elf
sure.
druids and stuff like that.
Shamans. That's
Shamans also up there. I think tree folk are
Yeah.
a big one in green.
for sure.
They
But
can
they just
splash
don't have
into other
that-
colors.
Yeah, they don't have that like real hit of power though.
Yeah.
Like
They're
the-
kind of like giants where they're just sort of big bodies and they just sit
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, the synergies between tree folk from Lorwyn,
Yeah,
when they had like the
Lorwyn.
black and green.
Yeah. With
like that was
Doran
pretty
and the siege
sweet.
tower.
Yeah. Yeah, and then obviously elves is just like
Elves they're too good.
yeah, you can't have an episode about tribal in Magic without talking about elves just because not only are they just good, not only are they synergistic, but because of all of that, there's virtually no format that couldn't make an elf deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elf ball works everywhere.
Yeah. Well, not just elf ball, but just like in Pauper, it's not really elf ball. It's just ridiculous synergy and just like flooding the board and having such efficient plays every single time that like you can just go wide.
Yeah, I think if we move into worst tribes, it's slightly more subjective. Worst tribe in white, goats.
Well, Ghost was like my initial thought, but I was thinking more like Kithkin, just because like Kithkin, there is some that are like super awesome and good, but they're so few and far between that it like makes this weird separation between like, oh, this is good, and then you look at the other ones like all of these are so like parasitic and do nothing that they just I don't know. I feel like they just don't work without all of the help they can possibly get.
Yeah, I
agree
think
with
there's a lot of, like Garion was saying, there's a lot of cards that only have, there's like 5 cards in those tribes, and you don't even think about those, like eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think
Eyes is what, blue color?
it's also black, but I think just coming up with the worst tribes, I think might be a little tough.
Harder. Yeah, for sure. Like
Because there's a reason nobody thinks about them and they don't get played because there's no support.
yeah, I feel like unicorns is on that list of
Yeah,
like,
horses
Yeah.
and maybe hounds.
Yeah.
I know
True.
Isamaru.
Tomorrow, yeah. Like
That's the only
any other
ones.
ones? Just like yeah, there's a few, but you can't really think of them. It turns out worst tribe is a little bit harder.
I know cats used to be down there, but ever since
Recently.
the cat commander,
Yeah.
it brought it all together, sort of unified the tribes because it was basically just mono white equipment. Was
Yeah.
all you could do, and then they
I mean, but
made
the
it
equipment
Selesnya.
package from the cats was fucking insane.
it made the tribe a lot better.
Yeah. All right. What about blue? I mean, cephalids and homerids are like the two that. Although I think they've been oracled into one, haven't they? Or are they
I
still separate.
don't think so.
No?
but
yeah,
no, 'cause
cephalids
I was
is
looking at some
rough.
bad tribes because like serpents and snakes are two different tribes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and a lot of the old
See, I feel
blue
like that makes a
serpents are
little
real
bit-
bad.
more sense to me. Serpents and snakes, just because I feel like when I think of serpent, it's like the water side of the
Yeah.
them coily bastards, and then snakes is like the smaller land-based. Yeah.
That's fair, but
Neither are good.
Probably like squids. Like we talk a lot about the big sea creatures, but the little ones, like I think there's like a starfish,
There is a starfish.
Yeah.
and there's like
Sigil starfish.
crabs, like
Yeah,
stuff that is just bad.
Aside from like hedron crab, I don't know if any of the other crabs are.
I feel like all the crabs were kind of meant to be blocker, like the big
Yeah, that's
defender
they're like
kind of.
X and
Yeah,
So I
like
wouldn't call them the
1-5.
worst because there are situations when you actively want
But
one.
they remind me of
for the most
giants in the
part-
sense that they're like the draft filler. It's just like
Yeah.
if you're playing like a defensive or control strategy, then you have that in there and
Yeah.
you put that down on like turn 1 or turn 2, and nothing's getting through the rest of the game, and you can just set up to defend yourself forever.
Yeah, but I think that's different from what we're trying to do here, which is just the
actually bad
support
ones.
for the
Definitely
tribe
the
because there's
worst.
no support for crabs.
Yeah, for sure.
That's true.
And I think like illusions. There's a couple cards that make cool illusions and stuff like that, but I think illusions and stuff like that.
illusions are just so hard to play around just because of the like inherent weakness that they
Yeah,
always
the
have.
claws that they come with.
Yeah, which is if they're targeted, then they boop.
By any spell or ability, then they just get
Yeah, some of them are
sacrificed or
spells, some of
destroyed
them
or
are ability,
something.
but
yeah,
just like the generalization for
Yeah.
sure. Oh, and then the last one that we kind of talked about before the show was the homunculi,
oh yeah,
because there's like 3 good homunculus cards, and the rest of them are just like why would you ever print this? Because
Also,
like Doorkeeper.
not only are there only 3, but they're just recently.
Yeah, I guess that's fair as
Yeah,
well, right?
so-
There's like Shadows over Innistrad and Forward.
Yeah, we only
like
just barely started. getting
Doorkeeper, the
decent
one
cards.
that cares about instants and sorceries.
Curious Homunculus.
Yeah, Curious Homunculus. And then,
And then your boy.
Fibblethip. But then there's like Humongulous from
Yeah, that's the one I was
which,
thinking of.
which is good in the deck that it wanted to be in, but everything else is just like,
Nah.
sure, it's
Yeah.
a 2/5 for 5.
I mean, I don't know how to make a lot of these tribes good because you could do just Lord effects.
Yeah.
They just beef up tribes, but
I feel like
I don't know if that will
That's
save
part
a
of the
lot
thing
of
that
these.
makes good tribes good, right? There are really good elf lords. There are moderately good elf lords, and then there are just the elf lords, you know?
Yeah.
And with zombies, you have that same thing. You know, all zombies get death touch. All zombies have, you know, menace or whatever it is, and then just actual lords that give +1/+1. You see that in goblins. Like the support within the tribe, I think, is part of
Without
what makes
having to like really reach and
Yeah, you
splash
don't
in
have to
random
use a
artifacts and
different
enchantments.
color.
Yeah.
to get that, or you know, a different tribe at all. It's just it's already built in.
Yeah, I think a lot of the problems with these tribes are they're either vanilla or they just have evasive abilities and they don't care about any other cards or have any tribal support. Okay, let's go into black. Black, we talked about eyeballs. I think specifically Eye of Urborg, I think is the creature I'm thinking of, where it
Oh,
says
yeah.
non-eye creatures you control can't attack.
No, fuck, we forgot rats.
Oh, rats,
Rats
is, yeah, it's a great,
it's a good tribe.
especially
Oh,
lately.
I was like,
Yeah.
wait. Yeah, rats I would consider one of the better tribes.
There aren't a lot of good rat cards, but the ones...
But the best
you
ones
can-
make more versions of themselves.
Yeah, because like we were talking about the illusions, just the mechanics that rats usually have where you can have multiple copies
Yeah.
no matter what. Or
like the
endless
I'm trying to
amount.
remember what deck it was and what era, but there was a deck that was built around discard effects, and all of the rats they played, there was like 2 or 3, and they all had like when it enters the battlefield, your opponent discards.
Oh, yeah.
And so like
yeah.
you just keep playing those.
Yeah, it's like a 1-drop or whatever.
Yeah, there's I think there are 2 and 3 drops.
Oh,
but
okay.
like each one of them has such a like massive impact in that sense that your opponent has to do everything they can to get rid of their hand as fast as they can. Otherwise, you just play rats, they discard, play another one, and like
You're getting value and they're losing.
assuming that they're playing lands, then after 3 turns, their hand is empty.
It's always a good spot to have your opponents in.
Oh, absolutely. And then you're just on the beatdown with, you know, aggro rats.
Yeah, I think rats... I think people have come around on rats, especially recently, making a lot of sweet rat decks.
Yeah.
And I think on a lot of formats.
Another one that comes to mind was the Gorgons.
Oh, yeah.
Because my biggest problem was that they're just so expensive, and they have good effects usually.
Yeah.
But they're just, you have to get to like 5, 6, 7 mana to do it, and it's like I can't get there at all. Like, you have to have some other support in order to get there.
Yeah, and just sort of going back to elves, like the best thing about elves is all the elves are like 4 mana or less.
Yeah.
Like all of them.
You don't need to go past 4
And-
mana unless you're doing like the Fierce Empath.
And a lot of these bad tribes that we talked about, the only playable ones are like 4 or 5 mana or plus. Like,
Well, and elves actively build you up and ramp you to those
just
big
inherently. Yeah, but some other bad black tribes, I think specters, they've
Specters and
gotten
shades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they pop up every once in a while, and you're like, okay, that's playable, but there's no like I'm gonna make a specter deck.
Yeah. Like Spectre, again, it's like there's just a couple that I can think of that are good, and everything else I feel like is actively bad. It's like overcosted for like a bad creature.
Yeah.
I feel like Shades isn't necessarily bad, because Shades I always want to play in limited because the shade effect of just giving them that plus like fire breathing basically on them.
Yeah,
Is
and
super
they're
nice.
usually evasive as hell, and like specters usually have when they deal combat damage to an opponent,
discard
they
or something,
discard, which
yeah.
is really powerful, but it's just sort of slow and it's easy to combat that with blockers. But
All right. What about red? Gremlins.
Gremlins,
Not
yeah,
good.
from was it Kaladesh?
Yeah, they were so limited in what they were doing.
Yeah.
It's like anti-artifact or anti-energy.
Kavu. The only good Kavu is
FTK.
Flame Tongue Kavu.
Yeah,
The rest of them,
I think
a
the
lot of
green
these
copies
tribes
better.
are in multiple colors, but
There's a slew of red Yetis that aren't great. They're kind of middle of the road. I view them sort of the same as giants, where they're just kind of
they're just vanilla usually, or like Mountain Walk.
yeah. They have decent body.
Yeah, the
but-
Mountain Walk is the thing, the weird but totally thematic
It's
thing.
it's flavor 100%.
Yeah.
As long as they're on a mountain, you can't fucking see them.
Yeah. Some other bad tribes. I think a lot of the best samurai that I think of are either red or white,
Oh, true.
and I think just because of the set that they were printed in, there wasn't a lot, or there isn't a lot of support now for samurai and stuff like that. So it's just one of those tribes that sort of just got forgotten along the way.
I feel like that there's a lot of tribes that have that happen.
For sure.
Like they only work on the plane they're in. Like, because like we'll never see gremlins again probably until we go back to Kaladesh.
Yeah.
Which everyone loved Kaladesh, so we're definitely gonna go back. It's just a matter of when, because they don't want to do it too early. I mean, it took 10 years, something like that, to go back to Ravnica.
Yeah. Well, Kaladesh was dope, but Aether Revolt was the tits.
Yeah, Revolt was sick.
I think ogres are up there.
Yeah.
There's just like
ogres are
random
great.
cards that they just get the keywords in the tribe name, but they're just vanilla creatures, or they don't do anything. I think one of the big ones that people want to be good, but it's still not good, are Minotaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them the worst, but they're definitely
they're
still
just-
not where you want them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Theros draft, I guess, I'm trying to remember if it was with the other two sets or if it was Born of the Gods, but they had the Minotaur that reduced the cost of your Minotaurs by red and black.
That was a good
and having
start.
that draft deck was sick, because
And
like
then-
just fucking red-black Minotaurs could just punch through everything.
So, we have green.
Yeah, we got
Green.
bad green tribes.
Oh my gosh.
So I think not necessarily a bad one, but a disappointing one are spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, people love spiders, want to make spiders work, but it's
There's
just really
no way.
hard.
Can't do it.
Yeah, I was thinking
Especially
like
Commander.
Sapperlings on that as well.
Whoa.
Like Sapperlings, I mean, definitely heavy
mean-
into the black now, but
We got Slimefoot.
yeah, but that's not mono green.
That's
Talking about mono
true.
green
Yeah.
Sapperlings.
I still think I wouldn't put them in the worst. They're certainly not up there in the best, but I think
There's just
they
like
have
the only time you
uses.
get Sapperlings is making tokens of them.
Yeah, there's either
Like-
one ones or like the fungus that make more saplings.
Like I'm trying to think of any card that is just like a sapling on its own. And maybe
sure
that's
there's
what
some weird ones.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem, is that
They're
I only associate
in
them with
tokens.
something else.
Well, I was gonna say I don't think they're actually supposed to be a quote unquote tribe like that you're playing. They're supposed to be like the spores of your
Of your
tree
bigger
folk and your
creatures and
fungus
stuff.
and your
No, because in like the lore that they have, or at least from what I've like read and heard, like they are definitely their own thing. The Thalids are like the keepers of them. It's not that they're fungus on the Thalids. The
They're just the
Thalids are like the
slaves.
herders of them.
The sheep, the goats
Yeah, exactly.
of green.
Except, have 1 power extra.
Way better.
Yeah.
I think plants are
Yeah,
kind of
there
in
you
the
go.
similar vein where they don't have a lot of tribes. There's not a lot of good plants.
Yeah.
And there's things that make a lot of plants or like beef plants up, but
Same with like oozes. I feel like oozes are one of
I
those
love
tribes
oozes.
where maybe it's just because there's not that much support to make ooze tribal, but the ones that are good are very, very good.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are just like I guess I'll play it if I have to.
yeah, there's one of those. It's one of those tribes where there's a couple standout cards like Scavenging Ooze, Acidic Slime. There's cards
The
that
new
everybody
one that,
knows.
replicates itself.
Yeah, and there's the one that got reprinted printed in the Planeswalker Commander set that I can't remember what it does, but like exiles creatures from people's graveyards. It's a grave hate card. It's really good, but I can't remember the name of it. But that was a cool ooze.
most oozes are underwhelming.
I think Mimeoplasm is a dope ooze, but it's not ooze tribal. Like,
No, and it's not really green either.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
Demir heavy graveyard stuff.
I don't know. I feel like green suffers the least from bad tribes, probably of all the colors, just because a lot of what green does is making mana, and making mana just is never bad. So
right, but I think it's beyond just making mana. It's just that green is kind of one of the more basic and maybe less flexible in what we see it as. Like all the other colors, have these like, you got soldiers, but soldiers can also be like knights, and like you can just throw in extra
Yeah.
things. But like, it's a fucking plant.
Yeah.
It's a tree. It's a.
You can't have
it's a
well, I guess you
sapling.
could have a tree soldier, but
Yeah.
it'd be a
Which I
tree
think that-
folk
yeah.
soldier.
Yeah.
But I think one problem that green has because elves are so good that they sort of suck out all the oxygen for all the other tribes. It's like
Yeah.
we can do support for the other tribes, or we could just make some more elves and keep making elves good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same way with building or playing. Is like, I could do this cool thing with sapperlings, or I could do this basically the same thing but way better with elves.
Exactly.
Oh, dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Ooh.
See, I was going to get into
Yeah, I was gonna suggest
multicolor,
because dinosaurs bridge out. They're
yeah,
pretty,
especially lately.
especially Naya.
But I think worms,
Oh yeah.
I think, are up there.
Yeah, they're
like,
very much like the serpents. They're
they're
like
just sort of big
not-
dudes. Like everyone knows Crawworm And I think there's been a couple cool worms that have been printed.
The best worm
The black worm.
is colorless.
I don't know.
Whoa,
what about
whoa.
Grothama?
No.
Grothama's dope.
Massacre worm.
Massacre Worm's also
Fucking good.
one of my favorite cards.
Yeah, but the best worm?
Worm Coral Engine?
Yeah, Worm Coral Engine is literally just
It
the
is
best worm.
the best worm, yeah.
Like,
Point taken.
Yeah. I think Hydras are they've gotten a lot better.
I feel like hydras are
but
like
they're kind
one
of just
the
the same thing
yeah,
over and
perfectly
over.
middle
Yeah.
ground. Like,
It's just like, oh, it's a big creature, and now it usually has reach or evasion or something or
Yeah.
death touch.
like there's
or
a
it
way
makes
that
more
hydras
copies.
get better, but sometimes they're
With
just
elves.
like big dumb creature that doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I invested like 8 mana into it, and I got a 6/6 because I had to pay 2 extra green for it, and it's fine. But
Yeah, I think in the past couple sets, Hydra's have gotten a lot more support because we got that
The
card from Modern
legendary.
Horizons that makes all your X spells double.
yeah,
and then
the legendary one from M20.
Yeah, which is like a 7/8 for 6 mana.
Yeah, and then also just
It
the
makes-
extra card as well. The other Hydra that, what is it? It fights when it comes in or something like that?
Yeah, and there's like another Hydra that makes all your Hydras cost 4 less
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, there's definitely been some good support for it, but I think overall Hydras have been like a very middle of the road.
I think they're a thing that they're kind of like Minotaurs. Everyone wants to keep playing, but they're just not there yet.
Yeah.
Well, and I think your point is probably the biggest reason that it is that is just that even the fastest decks that are trying to get to these big fat fatties are using elves to get there, and so it's like we have to kind of support both at the same time.
Yeah.
Which always just makes elves better and just a bigger reason to play them instead.
Exactly. Yeah.
But there's always going to be a couple good ones from all these different tribes where you're like, yeah, I'll spend 8 mana on that one time.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. There's a couple just standouts in each tribe, or a lot of these tribes.
Oh, okay.
sip
The
on that for a little
sour's
bit.
getting a little better and a little better over time. Maybe it just needed to aerate, you know?
But yeah, I was going to suggest that you just sip on that for a little bit,
Okay,
and then
yeah.
give it to Cory for a little bit. That way you can
We'll just
It's
nurse
got a
it.
little kick. Okay, let's move into. Let's do multicolored, and then we'll go colorless. Okay.
Yeah, for-
Let's go the best multicolor and then the worst multicolor.
Okay.
I think. So we said dragons, humans, allies.
I mean, technically vampires is I would put in there.
Yeah.
Vampires are pretty. Yeah, I guess.
It's like they've really branched out pretty
yeah, I
well.
guess this isn't necessarily all 5 colors, but just.
Multicolored in the way that they're supposed
So I
to
think
be.
dinosaurs are up there.
I don't know. I don't think dinosaurs are a good tribe.
I think they're good.
I think they can be built well. They
They're-
just have more
They're
of a
just-
workaround.
they
Yeah,
have-
they're way too limited. They don't have like that very good obvious synergy. Like allies. I mean, allies is kind of a bad example just because of the keyword that they threw on there. You know, like
Yeah,
rally
they
cares so
do
much. and stuff,
everything.
but yeah,
Literally everything.
Yeah,
Like there's an
reason-
ally that does it.
yeah. As soon as was 5 color allies and General Tazri to make it work, like it was just kind of dumb because you could literally play the most mediocre one that has the rally effect, and it just becomes so much better just because you're guaranteed to have others that care about it as
Yeah,
well.
it literally makes every ally into a lord.
Yeah.
But I think
I just don't think dinosaurs.
I think
are there.
dinosaurs are good, but they obviously have inherent weaknesses, and that's just because they're creature based and they're just big dudes.
I mean,
But-
all of tribes are creature based.
yeah, but I mean,
They're effects.
combat based.
Oh yeah. The enrage for sure.
I think they're on their way. We're ready for the come up.
Yeah, I think that they lean on the bad side more than they do the good side right now. I think that they have potential, and that if you have the support for them, they get better. But I just think
the
as a
support
tribe-
comes from outside of the tribe.
Yeah,
though,
exactly.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the fact that dinosaurs are either Naya or less hinders them a lot because if you have just having access to blue and black would
Yeah.
I think help a lot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It brings a lot of these tribes up. I think another good 5 color tribes elementals,
Yeah.
and obviously that's one of those tribes where like people think of a couple of them, but I think overall there's a lot more good elementals than bad elementals.
How do we feel about spirits?
Spirits is also
Yeah,
a
They're pretty
good,
good.
but I feel like
5 color tribe.
I wouldn't
Can
say
we
they're
consider
a good
gods?
5 color tribe. I mean, yeah, gods.
Gods are
Obviously.
the best.
But like,
Damn straight.
if you have spirits, you're probably blue white. Like I don't
heavy on
Yeah, I
blue-white.
don't look at spirits as like a real 5 color tribe just because the best ones are not.
Yeah, I think Spirits is one of those tribes that it just sort of gets support in a lot of weird ways. Like there's a lot of white and blue support, like Drew was saying, and a lot of death triggers and weird things like that. And there are a lot of little dudes that are evasive, but I think it's easy to flood the board with 1/1 flyers and then do crazy stuff.
I guess spirits maybe is more like an Esper thing because there definitely are black spirits that are
Yeah.
decent.
Worst multicolored tribes? I don't even know if I know of any shitty. I mean, I know.
I think
of
we
ones.
touched on a couple of ones that just aren't quite there yet.
Yeah.
I think cats used to be there,
Yeah.
but they've gotten a lot better.
Unfortunately,
Minotaurs are
they're
still
where
down
dinosaurs
there.
are. They're not really what they need to be. Minotaurs, yeah, I guess. Do giants span 3 colors?
There's some I think
Mostly-
There's
Boros.
some white. Yeah, that's. I'm trying to think what the thing is that we never talk about the bad tribes.
Yeah,
because
it's hard to come up with them.
because you don't get excited about them. It just they're there.
Well, and when you
Oh
look
shit!
when you
one
look
of the
back
best
through all
multicolored
the
tribes.
best multicolored tribes.
Fairies.
Oh yeah, fairies.
Fairies are insane.
Fairies are great.
But I guess they really should have been in blue.
But they
as
were
far
blue
as one
black.
of
Like,
Yeah,
originally they were
to
blue
me-
black.
but definitely multicolored. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
How did we
think
forget?
a bad multicolored tribe is beasts.
Oh yeah,
And I
Yeah.
think these suffer from the exact same problems that dinosaurs does. Only dinosaurs got helped out a lot by crazy powerful cards like Gishath and Sakama.
Yeah. Whereas the
Atla.
beasts just
And
don't
beasts have just been
have
hosed.
anything.
I think one that people have been wanting to play since it was released that we still can't really make it work is werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Werewolves are not good.
You see, that's another one where like the average power level of them is very like mediocre to low, but the powerful ones are just like holy shit. They
Yeah.
just like
But when you start looking at a tribe as a whole, it's not even necessarily whether or not they have enough powerful creatures to be considered good. It's whether or not the tribe as a whole can work together. Because elves, I mean, there are some very powerful power level elves, but for the most part, the great majority of them are just little shitty dudes that just happen to all love each other. And
group orgy.
group love.
Although I guess that's a little redundant.
Yeah, I think sort of we were talking about the illusions, the inherent clause that comes with them. I think werewolves suffer from that
Yeah,
the
for
most,
sure.
especially in multiplayer games.
Yeah. Well, the old ones, right? Because they
Yeah,
really
they've-
tried to do as much as
I
they
think
could
they've gone away from it, where it's like you can activate their ability to
to
transform,
transform.
them, so
But
they
the
don't
thing is that
transform
you
back.
have to spend so much mana
Yeah.
to do that it's like you're still also taking a turn off.
They've got great flavor, though.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
the flavor on
awesome.
werewolves is incredible. Like
That's all they are.
I think the frustrating thing for most people was when we got Arlen Cord because everyone was like, "Yeah, we're gonna get that, the real good werewolf for Commander." And we got Arlen Cord, and I was like, "That's a planeswalker. We can't do that." And then we got the whatever the mythic transform werewolf is, very good, but it was just like,
oh yeah, I can't remember.
it's not what we wanted. Like what it's just I don't know, it doesn't care about transforming werewolves, and that's what we needed was for it to like when this transforms, the rest of your werewolves transform basically.
Yeah.
Like that's the piece for Commander anyways that we need. Otherwise, I don't think werewolves is strictly that playable anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Warriors, I think is
Warriors, I think, are
on the good side of it.
awesome. Yeah.
Like there are some really bad warriors, but I think on
yeah.
average warriors is good enough.
Yeah, I think them just printing Najila, I think
Oh, yeah,
it
that-
helped
yeah,
so much.
she's
She's
incredible.
just broken
Well, just-
on her own.
Yeah, I was gonna say just that entire set
Because-
from Battle Bond, like
Oh,
all
yeah.
of the warriors.
Yeah,
support.
they
Azra's was a cool one.
yeah.
Knights,
Knights.
kind of.
Nice. I think lately, especially since Dominaria, a lot of these
Yeah.
older tribes, because they were from Dominaria, I think they've got a lot of love.
Yeah, they kind of like started to fill in some of the missing pieces.
Yeah, I think they identified a lot of problems, but I think
But
one
only
tribe-
for us, only for us eternal formats.
Yeah.
Because the missing pieces are now the only pieces everywhere else. So.
I think a problem or another tribe that they tried to help, but they didn't really, is pirates.
Yeah.
Oh my god, pirates are so fucking bad,
Yeah.
dude. I was so
Pirates
stoked to
are
have
sick,
pirates.
but
and
they're
I'm like,
just so limited. Like
Yeah, they're mostly Grixis, but they
I
just.
think they're
they're bad. They're
exclusively
actively not
Grixis, aren't
good.
they?
I'm sure there's random white ones.
Don't think they.
I
I think
don't
when they
know.
went through and interacted, I don't think anything besides Grixis.
Well,
was-
then-
I don't know. There's a whole
Grixis
bunch of
only.
shit that should be pirates that are not pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they did Kari Sev, and everyone's just like
Sky
they're
pirate.
making pirates, making pirates,
And then
we
when they
got an entire
announced
set.
Ixalan was like what, pirates, dinosaurs, vampires, and merfolk, people were like, oh,
Pirates were
let's
getting
go.
it. And then it's just like,
And then like
Man,
merfolks
these
are
things are
good,
sweet.
vampires are good.
oh yeah, like you knew that.
There's
but it-
two pirates that are good.
Well, I mean, beyond that, it was just like pirates were good and limited. Like you could make that work. And in the standard environment that Ixalan started to take over, it's like, oh, okay, pirates can red black pirates can be pretty good.
Yeah.
Blue black pirates is pretty good. Grixis pirates pretty hard to run, but like you could really get something. But then they just got outclassed by everything else.
No, there are no other pirates. They are only Grixis.
Oh,
That's
snap.
what I thought.
So I think pirates suffer.
They're also just suffering just from like limited print.
Yeah.
And
not
just
only-
being fucking bad.
Yeah,
There's so many
but
of
I
them
think
that
they're
you're
bad because they're
shit.
just combat focused. That's
Yeah.
all they
Yeah.
are,
Well-
which is 100% flavor.
Yeah. But also, like, you have to think of when they were printed, and Ixalan was a very combat-focused block, right?
Yeah, I just think
Everything
that-
cared about combat.
I understand from design perspectives, especially in limited and drafting and cubing and stuff like that, and standard, it's all about combat. But I think that's when you can take advantage and work with these legendary creatures
Yeah, for
to
sure.
help them make better tribal support. Like Admiral Beckett Brass, she is a pirate
That steals stuff,
commander,
right?
and she steals one thing if you attack somebody with 3 pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is I think flavor-wise, the treasures and the theft are
Yeah.
really good as well, but they just don't do it. It's just all this
I think
stupid combat
Treasure
shit.
is a much better tribe than.
Yeah, treasure is a better
Like treasure and gold.
That's
But
pretty
yeah, I
fucking
just
bad.
think it has just inherent flaws that they need to fix.
Yeah.
And then
But I think it could be
maybe
fixed
we
with
could-
a few cards. I mean, Commander would probably need more, but
it's
like
got good colors.
yeah, a few cards in there could add like just the synergy that you want to spread out and be aggressive, but also have like the colors for removal and counter magic. Like it could be good.
Yeah.
It's just not.
We missed a really big one for green.
Uh-oh.
Bears.
Bears.
Oh, true. Bears is like the
People
best
been-
shitty tribe.
People have
The
been
Bears.
trying to make bears work for so long, and they've always been good, but not just great.
Shout out to
ever
Graham,
been good.
dude.
No, but like we talk about just 2-2 for 2s. Like
Oh, yeah,
grizzly
like-
bears, like that's the only thing.
Yeah,
Everybody
but that's
knows
like
that
the
because
vanilla
of
test.
bears.
Yeah, for sure. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're the best shitty tribe.
Yeah.
Like,
And then-
they're not a good tribe by any stretch of the like even with Ayula and even with
Yeah.
Goreclaw, like Goreclaw doesn't even make your 2/2s for 2 like relevant. Like
Yeah,
she doesn't care about
He
them.
doesn't care about bears, but
Yeah, because like, yeah, I think that's like the epitome of perfectly average.
yeah,
Is the bears.
right in the middle. I love them.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up the tribes just for now. I'm sure that we're gonna come back and have episodes dedicated to specific tribes later, just because I think there's so much that we can talk
We're
about.
going to do
with them.
colorless real quick.
Constructs, servos.
Eldrazi.
Eldrazi,
Worst.
golems.
Fucking scarecrows.
I think
Are the
Murs
worst.
are up there
Yeah.
on the best one, but
Yeah, Murs for
scarecrows
sure.
are scarecrows.
They're the
You could
worst.
argue that they're a 5-color tribe because of Reaper King, but
But all the other scarecrows are colorless.
yeah,
And they're bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most of
they're-
them. There's like
pretty
2
bad.
good ones. in
Painter
that,
Servant. Shout out.
right? Yeah.
But yeah, I think artifacts they're one of those easy tribes where you could literally just throw on a random word and make it an artifact tribe.
Yeah.
And then I think they've gotten a lot better.
I think that's why the constructs are pretty decent. It's just because
Yeah,
it's
just
like
generic.
knight construct or whatever construct.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot better with just throwing additional keywords. Like, yeah, this is a knight construct, or this is a knight artifact creature, or like this is a elephant artifact, just to help those tribes. But I think it just makes colorless tribes worse. But colorless is hard.
Yeah, I mean, colorless has really, really good and really, really bad.
Oh,
Colors has to be limited though,
Well, yeah, you have to. It
because
has to be.
there's slots in anywhere.
we forgot a 5-color tribe. I don't know how we could have forgotten this. It's probably one of the most notorious and infamous tribes. Slivers.
Oh fuck, yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
it turns out.
Do we?
Whoops.
Okay, so if we were really quick and to do best multicolor,
Like rank them?
yeah, I mean,
Are we talking power level or are we talking
tribe,
just tribe?
the best
'Cause
tribe.
power level, humans and allies are just above everything else.
Yeah, because I think humans and allies are one of those words that you just like, this is a night elf human. Like
Yeah,
you
you
can just
just-
throw it on everything and it just
Yeah.
makes that
Probably
tribe
not
better. but-
elf human.
Yeah, but
Might have been the
like you could
bad
do like a
example, but
skeleton zombie human somehow.
I don't think you can do
Okay, you could do like an ooze crab human.
that. Yeah, totally. Which is weird, right?
They probably have that, but you can't do like ooze crab sliver or ooze crab dragon.
Yeah,
Right.
So
Yeah,
I
the
think
dragon thing.
inherently, just being quote unquote normal humans and allies, you can just
Yeah.
throw them into everything.
for sure. Yeah, I think
Slivers are really good though. I don't know how we
Slivers
forgot that.
Yeah.
are like the epitome of synergy.
yeah, they're like the multicolored tribe.
They're kind of like allies in that every sliver is a lord.
Yeah, I think they epitomize what a tribe is to
Oh, for sure.
the 10th magnitude. Like
and
that's all
and
they
the
do.
legendary creatures
Oh, they're
are some of the
insane.
scariest legendary creatures.
By the way, guys, we're excited. We found the Sliver Queen at my parents' house. They have one.
No shit.
OG.
Hell yeah.
It's a big deal.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of weird blunders, since we missed the slivers,
So Garion's got a story to tell. We're just going to leave the mic running while Garion does that. I'm going to disappear for a minute and come back with a surprise for these guys. Surprise for you guys too. It's going to be very, you'll understand when we talk about it.
All right. So there's a reason.
I've not heard this story yet.
Right. There's a reason that I have a specific reputation in our play group as being particularly careless. And I just solidified it last night. Me and Drew playing 1v1 Commander, just doing the dumb shit. I'm playing Muldrotha. He's playing Fibblethip the Lost. Combo mill, garbage bullshit. Just, he's doing nothing. I'm over here. I've got creatures out. I'm doing my thing. I'm getting good. I got like 12 lands out. I'm ready to just win. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I was like, you know what? This is a thing that this deck can do. Cool. I can't remember the enchantment, but he's got an enchantment that says, I mill the top X cards of my library, where X is the number of cards that entered my library.
I think it's Fraying Sanity.
Fraying Sanity.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, wait.
It's one of those.
If I do this, I can throw a whole bunch of shit in my graveyard, which will help me mill later. So like I was like using all the resources. I didn't even look at Drew. I was like, this is tight. So I play Zuran Orb and I play World Shaper. And I'm like, okay, I tap all my mana. I float like 12 mana, and then I sack all my lands, gain 24 life. And I'm like, all right, you are fucked, buddy. I play Gerard, and I'm ready to sacrifice World Shaper. And as I play Gerard, he lays down Mystic Confluence. Fuck. So he counterspells. I'd have no way to kill World Shaper. I'm like, okay, this is bad. So I have 6 mana floating, and instead of playing Muldrotha, like I should have, to where I could start using those, I tried to use like a Merciless Executioner or something. Like I tried to play a way to sacrifice World Shaper, and he fucking...
He didn't play Merciless Executioner. He played a board wipe to blow everything.
Yeah, I played Life's Finale. I was like, this is the only thing I can do. Because I was so single-minded about just like bringing back all these lands. So I was like, this is going to be tight, guys.
And so I'm playing my Fibblethip deck, right?
Yeah, he Proteus staffs away my World Shaper, and I go, oh, fuck, what did I just
You don't get to blow that up. You get to have that in your hand, so you can play 4 turns later if you have 4 lands.
Oh, my God. And here's the thing. I've used this play in the shop before where I sack the lands and bring them back, and I love it because usually I have a landfall creature on board, and there's a big payoff. So I want to use all the lands to try and get the best value. I didn't have that. Like, I literally just sacked them all because, like, this will be tight. And then I played 3 more turns with no fucking lands, and he turbo milled me with Fibblethip the Lost. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is why, even though you can get very excited and think your deck is humming like a champ, look across the board, see the mana, think about things just a little
Especially when playing mono blue.
Holy
There's
fuck,
only like
you guys.
2 or 3 counterspells in that deck anyways, and I'd been holding on to it for a long time. I was just
Literally,
trying to figure out like the best time to like really get the best value off of it, and I was like, as soon as he plays Zuran Orb, I'm just like, my heart just started pounding. I was just like,
because I was holding Zuran Orb. I was like, I can't put this out. He'll know what's going on. I have to do it the turn I'm ready to go.
And so he just like taps all his mana. I'm just like, he's going to do it. And I'm just like, wait, he has too much mana for me to just counter that with Mystic Confluence. So I was like, okay, I need him to play 1 spell that's like 4 mana. Like literally had to be 4 mana or more.
Gerard.
And so he plays Gerard, and I'm just like, you done fucked. And so like, I just like
buddy.
completely just like deadpan, just like put on. It's just like,
I'm not
pay 9
lying.
mana
Dude. I gotta tell you guys, of all the times I don't want to feel and look stupid, it's like always in front of Drew. You know what I mean? And he just lays it down. Just my head was like, oh,
That
fuck,
is the most Garion thing I've heard in a while.
I doing?
But yeah, I had to do all modes as counter because he had 6 mana. I was just like, all right, that's what I needed. Just
the thing is, too, is like there was no payoff other than just gaining the life, and I think I was going to get like 3 or 4 extra lands that I could have just gotten with World Shaper. Like there was no reason to sacrifice all the lands. I was already way ahead on board. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I was just excited. It's like, this is the thing I can do.
Yeah,
I'm
he
going to
literally
do
just
it.
needed to not.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah, not. Well, the thing is, he didn't.
I just needed to keep the
Shoot
creatures.
your shot and not even
I could
win.
have cast 0 spells for the rest of the game and
just
still won.
attack. I mean, I don't know about that because I definitely did have like an advantage coming with the mill strategy. But like,
Yeah, well, he finally finished me off with his Proteus staffing away Fibblethip or
no, I was
Lab Man
stopped her from
for a
side.
fucking Fleetwood.
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood
Yeah.
Swallower and Fraying Sanity just to combo him out.
Yep. So we were done.
Yep, that was fun. But
It's definitely an interesting game, guys. Don't ever feel too confident because that's what it was. It was the epitome of greed.
yeah, it was just like, I can do this just because.
Learn from this.
Yeah.
So we're talking story time here. A few weeks ago, was in Idle Falls, went to Marcella's because that's what we do. And one of the guys was talking about how they just put special beer on tap. And I was like, well, I'll probably be back later, bring a friend over. And so our friend Nikki was in town. And I was like, yo, you got to try this. So we went and she wasn't the biggest fan of it. She was like, I can see why you like this, but it ain't me. So with that, we were talking about the beer. So Garion, open that and you'll figure out why I'm so stoked. So the beer in question happened to be what I will name as the best beer of this year.
You've had this year? Oh,
And so while we were at Marcella's, one of the ladies there, Marcella's always been great to us. And she was like, well, if you will talk about it on your show, I've got a beer that I'll give you. And she like puts it down on the counter. And I was just like, she like disappeared for a while and came back with it. And I was just like, holy shit, how much? I was like, how much do you want for that? She's like, as long as you talk about it on the show and talk about Marcella's. I was just like, I mean, we talk about you guys anyway. So yeah, absolutely.
exactly.
Free advertising.
Done. So this episode officially sponsored by Marcella's in Idaho Falls. So this is the Bourbon County. They have stout aged bourbon barrels.
Goose
and they have
Island Bourbon County brand stout from
Yeah.
2015.
Yeah,
Oh,
2015.
So I've got the surprise ready for these guys. And
We're so excited.
because we know that this is going to take a while, because we are actually going to talk about the best beers of this year.
And we're running almost an hour already.
Yeah, we're going to cut it here, and we're going to make probably a mini-sode just covering the best and worst of the beers. So that's just our roundup now of all of the, I mean, not all, because obviously that would be a ridiculously exhaustive list.
Yeah.
But just our thoughts on tribes as far as best and worst go. Obviously, you guys are going to have your own opinions on that. We do want to know what that is. Hit us up.
It's elves. Surprise.
It's goblins, dude.
I can't disagree with either of those.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Durgans. Big old Durgans.
I don't know. You're an angel, man. You've always been dragons and angels.
Yeah, I can't disagree
I've
with
always
that
been
either.
the goblin guy. Like
I've loved elves just because they're powerful.
yeah, I mean, everybody loves those.
But yeah. But tell us what your list is. Hit us up. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the YouTubes. We've actually been getting, some decent engagement there from a couple of you, and we do appreciate that.
Shout out.
Keep it up, because we do what we can to respond, and we always try and list who it is that's actually responding to you so you understand the take.
Yeah,
'Cause-
we're getting ever closer to a Patreon that I think hopefully everyone will enjoy. I've always been upset with Patreons that seem lackluster, so we're trying to really make this like worth it.
Yeah,
for
we
people
want
to,
we want
like,
your
engage
input
in.
on it to like figure out what the best way to do it is to get you guys involved, right? Because Patreon, yeah, it's us telling you that in order to continue this, we do need money. Like we all work full-time jobs, but that puts us in a situation where we're trying to pay for our lives.
Yeah.
And then we also spend hundreds of dollars, well, more than that at this point, on making this podcast happen. Garion is an audio engineer, but all of the equipment that he has that is specific to the podcast is separate from the stuff that he has that's just for his normal recording.
But again, we don't want to just compel you like, hey, please let us keep the lights on. Like, I always see those types of Patreons as kind of like, maybe if I really like it, you know what I mean? Like, we want to come out with rewards that are like, shit, yeah, I want that. That's fucking tight.
Exactly, yeah.
So we're working on that. Hopefully by next year, maybe we'll have something close to ready to release.
And then also Discord, we are trying to put that up. But again, in order to do that, in order to like host a proper Discord, we need to see that engagement from you guys and see that you guys want that. Otherwise, it's not really worth having for just like a couple people.
Yeah.
Like we do want to make sure that people have a place that is a safe place to talk and engage with others.
Yeah, we love all you people that have just been just hounding us with responses and stuff, but we want everybody to just chime in. Just, hey, I like this beer. It's like dope as hell, dude. We'll try and check it out.
Like literally any beer that someone's told us about, Garion or I have been like, yo, did you see this one? And just
we're
like,
hunting them down.
how do we get
Let's
this beer?
try and get
And
this.
it's literally like, at this point, I'm talking to one of the distributors that works with one of the local stores in Idaho Falls to try and figure out if we can get them.
Yeah.
And turns out being in Utah makes it very, very difficult to do that. So
Yeah, we're probably going to have to end up shipping them to family in Idaho and then going to pick them up. But we've got this mini-sode. I think we'll just release it as like secondary content. Hopefully, if you guys want to check it out, should be fun.
yeah.
A little surprise from Drew there.
It's not just from me, but I'll take the credit. No, I'll give credit where credit is due on that. But yeah, definitely check that out. We're talking about more just the beer content.
Yeah.
But in regards to that, we want to make sure that you are being safe, be responsible. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink if you're underage. We kind of missed it on a couple episodes, but we really do want to emphasize and stress that we do want you to be safe out there. We do encourage you to drink along with us, but do so responsibly. Like, we're not trying to just pound a bunch of beers and get hammered here. We're trying to taste interesting and nice beers, and I expect most of you are the same in that regard.
Beers are good, man.
Yes, they are.
Unless they're bad.
Beer is good. Beer is good. Beer is good.
And stuff.
And stuff.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. As we like to say on this podcast,
Have fun.
But not too much.
Nah, dude. This time, have a ton of fun.
Yeah, and Merry Holidays.
Merry Chrysler.